Hello out there, everyone. Today I'm going to be reviewing Scream Factory's recent release of the Fly collection, which contains all 5 Fly movies in one gorgeous box set with some incredibly cool artwork here on the outer box, which is nice and hard cardstock. And inside are, of course, the 5 Fly movies, including, of course, the original starring Vincent Price and its sequel, and then of course the strange cousin, which really doesn't have a direct tissue connection to the first 2 Flies, but essentially deals with many of the same themes, and that of course is called The Curse of the Fly. And then we have the Cronenberg 1986 The Fly, which has been expounded upon, and rightly so, practically ad nausea. It's a great film that holds up exceptionally well and is arguably the best of the bunch. And then of course the much maligned sequel to The Fly remake called The Fly 2, which stars Eric Stoltz and is directed by the gentleman who did the effect work in the 86 Cronenberg version. And it is, I argue, just as entertaining, if not more so, than any of these in this entire set. I realize, of course, I may be alone in this opinion, but I feel like Eric Stoltz is always watchable. He's a great actor, never really made it big, despite the fact that he, I think, showed remarkable promise, especially early in his career. And it really is sad that he never was able to complete Back to the Future, because of course many of you already know he was cast as Marty McFly, and they did 6 weeks of filming, and then Zemeckis just sacked him and started over, which really hurt his confidence, and of course his career never quite recovered, though he did do some remarkable work in The Mask, about the Rocky Dennis story, and as well as just a bunch of independent films over the years that I think he's made a mark in. But in any case, this movie, The Fly 2, that is, I have a lot of fun watching it. It's got great practical effects. It's fun. It's campy. It even has like a Katie Lang montage. I mean, it's just weird. It's a weird movie, but I think it absolutely holds up and is quite a joy to watch. So of course, the Fly 1986, what else can we say about it? Jeff Goldblum was peak Goldblum here. Gina Davis, Cronenberg, it's the quintessential body horror movie, and Goldblum was especially impactful in the movie with his neuroses, and I think the relationship with him and the Gina Davis character was very believable as well, because I in fact believe either they were falling in love during the filming of that, or they were already a couple, but they did a wonderful job in it, and it holds up as well. I think it's a great film. It explores many of the themes that were introduced in the original Fly, but just elevates them to, I think, a more nuanced and certainly more tactile feel. The old Fly movies, the original The Fly, and then its 2 sequels, while good, are obviously extremely limited by the budgets and the technology at the time. But even so, I enjoyed watching the original Fly. I feel like Vincent Price was great. The 2 leads were excellent as well. It, I think, is a great science fiction story, and it holds up despite the fact that there really aren't many special effects in it. Although at the time, I think the Fly head was a pretty impressive, piece of makeup and practical effect work for its day and age. But I like the themes that they explored in the original Fly, and I think it warrants a revisit for those who either have kind of brushed it off as being cheesy 1950s horror, perhaps haven't watched it in some time. Give it a rewatch. It's better than I certainly remembered it being. And then of course, The Curse of the Fly, and finally the Return of the Fly, which was the second, the first sequel to the original Fly with Vincent Price, and it was in black and white, and it's good. It's good. It's not as good as the original, and I think that, you know, in the keeping within the spirit of the law of diminishing returns, The Curse of the Fly is really not that good. I think it still is an interesting piece of 50s horror cinema, and it's worth a watch, but I wouldn't necessarily call it a great film. But that said, I think that the series as a whole is absolutely worthy of bundling together the way Scream Factory has done with this wonderful release, and it's loaded with special features. So for any cinephile who likes classic sci-fi horror and or body horror with you know, David Cronenberg and some remarkable practical effect people working on the remake and its sequel from the late 80s, I would say give these films another go. I happened to pick this up used rather for 20 bucks, which was a damn good deal, and it's in excellent shape, and I've watched all of the films, and I can say that it's a worthy addition to my shelf. So with that, thank you everyone, take care, and until the next time.